Hey folks, Tanner Cherney of Devil's Lake Tourism. Been a couple weeks since I've been able to check in and give you a fishing report. I was actually out in the Salt Lake City area 2 weeks ago at the Hunting Expo. Awesome place, but irregardless, I'm back in the saddle, back in the swing of things. Geez, I can barely talk these days. Just excited to get back out ice fishing. You know, it's been a great winter like we've talked about. Perch bite's been good, walleye bites remain pretty dang strong. And as we start to move through the middle of February here, you know, we get to that midwinter bite. Think about going deep when it comes to perch fishing. Right now, you're going to be finding those fish anywhere from 30, 35 feet out to 50 plus foot of water. Small lures again. Word of the wise, when you do start to see some of these towns show up on the ice, you get like 20, 30, maybe even 10 houses out there. We've noticed with the advance of electronics over the last couple of years, especially with the live scope and different things, an active target, that we've noticed these perch are very sensitive to commotion, movement, even in 50 feet of water. You know, if snow bear starts up, a UTV starts up, those fish may die down for a couple minutes, 20 minutes before they get active again. So if you are seeing some of those areas and that's where you're going to be fishing, try to slide out a little bit off that edge of those group of people. You're going to find a little more active fish, and you might be able to pinpoint where those fish are actually moving, because as we've always talked about, perch are very nomadic, always on the move. So if you're fishing for perch and you find a spot, you don't mark anything for 15, 20 minutes, it's best to be moving on and drill more holes and just keep moving until you do find those fish. Walleye fishing's been pretty good. Biggest thing with walleyes is you kind of get that midwinter where things come up to a pinnacle, then they kind of plateau off, and we're right now kind of where that plateau is about to go bonkers again. You know, with the spawn coming up in usually the late spring, early spring, late winter, I expect that walleye bite to just pick up here as we move through the latter part of ice season. You know, we've got some great days ahead with some warmer temps that are going to make mobility really good, but looks like we have a really good cold snap coming next week, which hopefully, fingers crossed, will mean we'll have good ice here through the end of March, maybe through the beginning of April. And as you know, late ice can be some of the best ice fishing, as those walleyes are especially getting prepared for spawn, getting super active, super hungry. When you're coming up for walleyes right now, again, 15, 20 foot of water, early morning, late evening, sunrise, sunset bite, kind of a broken record. And find those old lake shorelines. That's the best piece of advice I can tell you. Get yourself a good lake map or look on Google Earth like I've showed you before, and go back to that year 1990 and find those lake shorelines, pinpoint where you want to fish, and hopefully you'll have a good outing on the ice. One last thing to touch on is access. You know, we've had some warmer days, we've had some snow squalls come through. It's definitely doable in some areas. Not all areas, but some areas you can get around with four-wheelers and side-by-sides without tracks. But if you do have tracks, still your best piece of advice. Just be prepared, plan, maybe have some buddies with if you're going to be venturing out without tracks. Doable. But again, we do have plowed roads out at East Bay and Woodland Resort. So remember, if you do hop on their plowed roads, to make sure you pay your fee for getting on there for the day. I know they bust their butts to make sure that they're open and active for people every day, and it's not an easy job with the North Dakota winds to keep them open. And last thing is, it's a beautiful weekend. We have ShiverFest coming up. That'll be out at a lot of activities between Woodland Resort, Creel Bay in town. We've got a gun show. We've got a kids fishing tournament tomorrow afternoon out in front of Woodland Resort from 1 to 2:30. So if you're listening to this before the kids fishing tournament, you've got some kids under the age of 16, get your butt out there. $10 gets you a ticket into the donation into the tournament. Each kid receives a fishing rod, tackle, bait, and gets into a drawing for an ice house. A lot of awesome things. Great way to get the kids introduced to the outdoors. And I think the last I looked was going to be like 30 degrees. So couldn't expect a better day for ShiverFest ice fishing tournament. We'll have some updates from out there tomorrow. Again, if you're in the area, use #DevilsLakeND and tight lines. Good luck out there this weekend. Stay safe.